Greetings everyone. Today we are talking about leadership. Leadership is a ripple effect. When we lead with empathy, reflection and solutions, others around us begin to mirror this behavior. This is not just leadership in the workplace or at home. It's a way of life that can transform families, that can transform teams, and that can transform entire community. The magic of leadership lies in its ability to inspire change, not through force, but through the quiet power of example. Let's be change we want to see and watch as it spreads to everyone around us. Leadership is not about titles. Leadership is not about positions. It's about stepping up, being genuine and inspiring others to do the same. Every one of us has moments where we face uncertainty, moments that make us question if we are capable of taking on the challenge in front of us. Leadership begins there, in that moment of curiosity and fear, when we choose to lean in instead of stepping back. It's not the absence of fear that makes a leader, it's the willingness to embrace it and move forward. Leadership is a journey of self-discovery. It is about figuring out who we are on the inside while navigating the outside world. Often, we think we need a safe and welcoming environment to fully express ourselves. But the truth is, it's our courage to show up as we are that create that safe environment. When we speak up, when we stand up for what we believe, we empower others to do the same. Leadership is not about status. Leadership is not about power or being in charge. It is about taking care of the people who are in our charge. Empathy and perspective are at the heart of true leadership. When we start our careers, our primary focus is to be good at our jobs. We learn, we train, and we perform, often being promoted for our technical expertise. But when we take on leadership roles, the focus must shift. It's no longer about doing the job, but about supporting others in doing their job. Many of us are not taught this, which is why we often see managers, not leaders. Managers know the work better than anyone and often micromanage. Leaders, however, leaders empower their teams to grow, learn and thrive. Great leadership requires us to embrace a change in perspective. For example, instead of focusing on what went wrong and assigning blame, a leader asks, what can I do to help you succeed next time? This shift can make all the difference. A real leader understands that success is shared and so is accountability. When things go right, they credit the team. When things go wrong, they take the responsibility. This approach builds trust and respect. Leadership is a skill that we can develop through practice. Like a muscle, it grows stronger the more we use it. But leadership also comes with sacrifice. We might stay late to help a team member or take on pressure ourselves to ensure others can perform without fear. It's not always easy, but it is incredibly rewarding. Think of a parent teaching a child to ride a bike. They don't yell at the child for falling. They encourage them to try again. Similarly, leaders create an environment where people feel safe to make mistakes and learn. Empathy is another cornerstone of leadership. When someone is underperforming, instead of immediately criticizing, we can ask, are you okay? What's going on? People are not robots. Life happens and it affects work. Understanding this human side builds loyalty and strengthens teams. Imagine if a struggling colleague was met with support instead of fear, how much more likely would they be bounce back stronger? We also need to challenge outdated practices that harm both people and organization. Layoffs to balance budgets or leadership that prioritizes shareholders over employees. It creates environments of fear and insecurity. Fear stifles innovation, cooperation, and trust. Great leaders focus on the well-being of their teams, knowing that happy and supported people will drive success. Being vulnerable as a leader doesn't mean showing weakness. It means creating a safe space where others can admit their mistakes. They ask for the help or they share concern without fear or judgment. When we show understanding and compassion, we foster trust and openness. It's about listening, it's about supporting, and it's about guiding. Ultimately, leadership is about creating the right environment. If we cultivate empathy, trust, and encouragement, people will give their best. If we foster fear and criticism, even the best people will underperform. As leaders, it's up to us to set the tone. Let's aim to be the kind of leaders who inspire, who uplift, and bring out the best in everyone around us. When we lead with empathy and perspective, we don't judge, create better teams, we create a better world. Leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about creating spaces where others feel confident to share their ideas and collaborate. Think about a time when someone you respected made you feel seen or heard. Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you when you doubted yourself, or a friend who stood by your side when things got tough. That's a leadership in action. It's not about grand gestures, but about making others feel valued. It's about being the kind of person who listens deeply and speaks thoughtfully. There is a misconception that leaders are always the loudest voices in the room or the ones with the most authority. In reality, leadership can be as simple as a quiet word of encouragement or the willingness to admit a mistake. It's about showing others that it's okay to be imperfect. That what matters is the effort and intention behind our actions. We often hear that we should leave our personal traits behind to succeeding certain roles. But isn't it those very traits, our compassion, humor, and humanity that makes us relatable? Leadership is not about being perfect, it's about being human. It's about finding strength in our vulnerabilities and using them to connect with others. When we stop hiding who we are, we allow others to feel safe being themselves. Leadership is less about leading from the front and more about walking alongside others. It's about fostering trust and respect where everyone feels they have something to contribute. When we approach leadership with this mindset, it's not a burden but a privilege, a chance to make a positive difference in the lives of those around us. Leadership is not a destination, it is a daily choice. Let's make that choice together. It's easy to cheer for someone else's courage, but stepping into the arena ourselves takes a different kind of bravery. Leadership begins with self-leadership. Learning to trust our own abilities before asking others to trust us. It's about being that person who steps forward even when fear whispers in the background. Consistency in action is the foundation of leadership. Imagine trying to achieve success with short bursts of energy, like a sprinter in a marathon. That approach That approach leads to exhaustion, frustration, and eventually burnout. Leadership is not about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It's about doing small things extraordinarily well every day. Consider a musician practicing a single piece repeatedly or athlete training daily. Their success is not born from one intense effort, but from consistent dedication over time. When we commit to steady progress rather than sporadic brilliance, we not only lead ourselves better, but also inspire others to follow. True motivation comes from within. Many of us strive to prove something to the world, our worth, our abilities, our potential. But when our energy stems from a higher purpose rather than the fear of failure or the need for external validation, it transforms us. Leadership also demands gratitude, not just for our victories, but for our struggles. It is easy to feel grateful when everything is going right, but the real test lies in finding gratitude during setback. A leader who can see lessons in failures inspires resilience in others. Take Thomas Edison. When asked about the repeated failures while inventing the light bulb, he famously said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This perspective turned obstacles into stepping stones, teaching us the gratitude fuels perseverance. Whether it's starting a new project, speaking up for what's right, or guiding a team through uncertainty, the risk we take, leaders set the tone for others.